Welcome back to the channel. This is Warthog Defense. I'm Sead. In a series of reports we have highlighted the unfavorable situation for the Ukrainian forces in Avdiivka, which is now becoming critical. It appears that Ukrainian units have initiated their withdrawal from the town, but not without a fight. They have deployed one of their best units there, the 3rd Assault Brigade.
The 3rd Assault Brigade confirms deployment in Avdiivka. They say 7 enemy brigades are in the city and the enemy is not sparing any meat throwing in new reinforcements. They've dealt critical damage to 2 of them, but the situation remains critical. Avdiivka hell. The 3rd Separate Assault Brigade confirms that it was urgently redeployed to strengthen Ukrainian troops in the Avdiivka area. The situation in the city at the time of deployment of the brigade was extremely critical. Separate battalions of the 3rd Armored Brigade raided the enemy-occupied areas of Avdiivka. The enemy's forces on our section are approximately 7 brigades. Our fighters demonstrate unprecedented heroism. We are forced to fight at 360 degrees against new brigades that the enemy is bringing in, says the commander of the 3rd AB Andriy Beletsky. During the period of stay in the Avdiivka region, 2 brigades of the Russian armed forces were critically damaged. The exact losses of the enemy in personnel and equipment will be reported later, after confirmation of the necessary data. At the same time, the objective situation in Avdiivka remains threatening and unstable. The enemy continues the active rotation of his troops and throws new forces and means into the city. Official resources of the brigade will inform about changes in the operational situation. According to the informations from the field, the Ukrainian army is in the process of pulling out of Avdiivka. Russian invasion forces are quickly advancing inside and around the town. And this is interesting, the Russian flag at the place where Zelensky took a selfie of himself at the entrance to Avdiivka at the end of December. The city is now tactically surrounded by Russia. The biggest task for the Ukrainians will be to get out of there in a safe and tactical manner. And the latest information is that the Ukrainian forces have safely left former Zenit Air Base south of Avdiivka. Russian forces took over the remains of the positions held by Ukrainians for a long time, but it's important to know that Russians are attacking Avdiivka for more than 6 months now, and they lost over 10,000 men and several hundreds armored vehicles in this battle. While according to NATO estimates, Ukrainian losses are 5 to 6 times lower. The capture of Avdiivka will not give Russian any tactical advantage. It's just another little town in Ukraine which they paid too expensive, and victories like this are actually just another step leading to the final Russian defeat. Avdiivka is about to fall into Russian hands. The pre-war town of 32,000 inhabitants at the last census, a frontline town since 2014, which has been under continuous bombardment since the beginning of the invasion, is preparing to fall. After 2 years without 9 days, after the Russians recorded somewhere around twice the number of deaths here that they had in 10 years of war with Afghanistan. Unfortunately, many Ukrainians also died, and a major cause is the lack of ammunition, in addition to the Russians' numerical superiority in terms of soldiers, equipment, and ammunition. I hope that the armed forces of Ukraine will manage to withdraw from the city in an orderly manner before we see another Deblatsev. To the Ukrainian fighters who fought with extraordinary tenacity and insane courage, to the Ukrainian fighters who sacrificed themselves, we can only pay extraordinary respect. Against an army infinitely superior in numbers, in a context in which they receive no outside help, they succeeded in inflicting losses on the Russians that will remain in the history that Putin will want to keep hidden. Through their courage, daring, and sacrifice, they have kept many Russian units pinned down, which have thus been unable to generate destruction elsewhere in Ukraine. U.S. supplied M2A2 Bradley IFV and Ukrainian service with the 47th Mechanized Brigade fighting in Avdiivka last month. If the Republicans do not take action soon, what is happening now in Avdiivka may well happen in other parts of this front, the White House.
Just briefly, I want to share a few words about the battlefield situation in Ukraine, where the fighting is incredibly intense in the east, particularly in a city called Avdiivka. It's a city that we've talked about several times before. Unfortunately, we're getting reports from the Ukrainians that the situation is critical, with the Russians continuing to press Ukrainian positions every single day. Avdiivka is at risk of falling into Russian control. In very large part, this is happening because the Ukrainian forces on the ground are running out of artillery ammunition. Russia is sending wave after wave of conscript forces to attack Ukrainian positions, and because Congress is yet to pass the supplemental bill, we've not been able to provide Ukraine with the artillery shells that they desperately need to disrupt these Russian assaults.
Just yesterday, FPV Strike Company of the 47th Mechanized Brigade destroyed yet another Russian infantry group on the approaches of Avdiivka. Massive Russian missile attack on Ukraine this morning. Explosions heard in many Ukrainian cities. There have been hits of civilian infrastructure, according to local authorities.
Thank you for watching. Stay with Warthog Defense. Comment, like, subscribe, become our member and stay strong.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.